So in this video, I'm going to get you to the point where you are literally cocaine addict, addicted to studying. And I know because I got to this point in my life. Instead, what we need to do is we need to be curious when we approach the subject. We need to approach the subject like a scientist. We need to be curious because the reality is subjects are so interesting. The way to explain it is there's this book called Flow by the psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. I don't know how to pronounce his name. But basically, there's this quote from the book where he says, some of the best moments of our lives are when our minds are stretched to their limits. So let me give you a couple ways that you can actually invoke emotion into your subject and be more curious about it. So the first tip I want to give you here is to dramatize the subject. So this might seem a bit cringe, but hear me out. But you can approach a subject as if it were a TV show, as if it were like an anime show or something. This is what I would do to my subjects. I would approach them with this like curiosity. What you can do is you can get different perspectives. So what I would do is I would go into YouTube and I would look if there was material online on the subject. For example, for maths, I was doing linear algebra in university. And I found this playlist on YouTube called The Essence of Linear Algebra, which was basically this beautifully visually created series that explained the subject in depth. It's so good they can't ignore you. And basically what that book talks about, it questions the passion hypothesis. So the passion hypothesis is this hypothesis where all we have to do is find the thing that we're passionate about. And this book argues that actually passion is not something that you find, it's actually something that you have to create. And so it says that passion is something that is built over time. But when you're that good at maths, of course it's going to be fun. Now, of course, I wasn't a genius or anything. I was just in a regular class with maths. But imagine you're the best athlete in your field. You're probably going to find that sport fun, right? Because you're really good at it. So the hypothesis I want to make here is that studying doesn't start off as fun. It eventually becomes fun once you've made enough progress. So there's this quote that I read from a book called The Art of Impossible. It says progress is the biggest motivator. So often we think we wait for motivation to hit us and that's what's going to get us to study. But actually often progress is what motivates us. And we are happiest when we're in a flow state. And a flow state is a state of our mind when there are no thoughts. So if there's zero thoughts in our mind, we are happiest. We are enjoying the thing the most. We think we're happiest when we have positive thoughts. Like, oh yeah, guys, I love studying. Studying is so fun. But actually, we're having the most enjoyment where we sit down, we are fully present. No thoughts in our mind. We are just there in the moment, enjoying the studying, enjoying the activity. So the reason why we can't enter a flow state when we study is something called the inner critic. So the inner critic is that voice in our head which talks negative to us, which pushes us down. And because we've got this voice in our head which is constantly bullying us, we can't study.